you're so fine. 7779311. I wanna spend the night with you if that's alright. 7779311. Ooh, baby, please can I come tonight? Baby, what's your phone number? How can you be reached on a lonely night? Baby, what's your phone number? How can I get into you when I'm feeling right? 7779311. I wanna spend the night with you if that's alright. 7779311. Ooh, baby, please can I come tonight? Jelly bean. Ain't nothing worse than rejection. Feel a little better if you slap my face. Hey, what's your phone number? Can't you see the agony I'm going through? Baby, what's your phone number? Girl, it's getting hard, baby. Won't you let me love you, love you? 7779311. I wanna spend the night with you if that's alright. 7779311. Ooh, baby, please can I come tonight? Yeah, ooh. Hey, baby, what's your phone number? I know it sounds fast, but I ain't got all night. Come on, baby, what's your phone number? You know I got to be cooler than this cat you're sitting with. I'll do you right, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, no. Come on. Oh, hey. 7779311. Wanna spend the night, alright. 7779311. Ooh, baby, please can I come tonight? Come
What's good? Who with us? Let me put the comments up. Who with us? Drop that chat in there. Let's go, Wyatt. Let's get right to it. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wyatt Live 1 p.m. Facts Over Feeling show. My jacket is going to have a crazy effect. Y'all, you can see it. My jacket is, let me see if I can pull that up close so you can see it. My jacket has tons of stripes going in all different directions. I should know better, but I didn't really have time to change. Maybe I should just put my shirt on, huh? Maybe just do a shirt, grab a hoodie or something. I don't know. Let's just rock with it. If it makes you dizzy or like makes you daisy or dizzy or whatever, just look away and just listen for today. How about that? Let's put the comments back up. What's good? How's everybody Tuesday going? Let me start my Tuesday out on the Wyatt Live Family Show, and let me just say this to you. Who they? Huh? Who they? Who they for a couple different reasons. Who they we won, and first half we played like crap. Who they, I don't know if Joe Burrow is really going to be 100% this season. I don't know. Who they, I know that Joe Burrow's timing was off. But hopefully he'll jump back and get, it's hard for him to go to practice. His leg is bombed up right now. Hard for him and chasing them guys to get on the same page as far as timing. But yesterday I made a comment about what it's going to take to win. I didn't get the 125 yards from Mixon that I thought we needed. And let me just say this. You got to get your running game going in order for your passing game to be effective. And what I said yesterday was you got to get those quick dumps, slants. Yeah, been about that check. He said, Randall Wyatt, I heard Lincoln ask you how you voting for the railroad. I heard that. I answered that. I'm going to address that. I promise. I promise. First, I got to talk about the people. I got to congratulate a couple people. Thank you, Daryl Carpenter, for reminding me. In the win last night, I want to give a game ball to two people. Two Wyatt Live family members have earned game balls from the Cincinnati Bengals defeat over the LA Rams. We got two family members of Wyatt Live who in the locker room should have got game balls. They didn't. So I'm going to give them game. I'm going to give my brother Roz Freeman. Let's give a hand for Roz Freeman. He gets a game ball. Throw him a game ball. Give Roz Freeman a game ball, y'all, for last night's victory. And then I'm going to give my man Trennis, the one and only Black Popeye. I'm going to give him a game ball too. Give it up. Give it up to those two. They get game balls from the victory last night. Cincinnati Bengals versus the LA Rams. Those brothers get game balls. Are they here yet to receive them? Trennis, yes, KJ. Trennis is the Black Popeye. He's always on a boat. Roz and Trennis were together last night. They get game balls for the Cincinnati victory. Let me explain what the game balls, what comes along, why they run those game balls. Let's get to it. We started off slow in the first half. I noticed that Roz and Trennis, the Black Popeye, were down at the game last night. I seen it on social media. I was there. And I'm like, these dudes are actually here. And I'm looking at the game. They shooting pictures. At first, true story, I thought maybe one of them had one of those, what do they call that shit? Them drones. I thought that they was shooting their pictures from a drone over the stadium, outside the stadium, looking into the stadium. I didn't realize that's where their seats were. I'm like, damn, this is a good ass shot of the whole city of Cincinnati. Damn, I'm looking at the damn drone shot like this is the shit. They could sell this Monday Night Football picture of the stadium from the outside of the stadium. The last picture I seen that happened during the game, a guy got arrested for this shit. A guy got arrested for shooting video of the game with his drone. He caught a case. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. I don't want to be part of them getting caught up on a case. So I'm kind of backing up. And then I start reading. I'm just looking at the picture. Then I actually read it. And it says, Ross says some shit like, man, I ain't never trusting Trennis again to get no damn tickets for the game. I said, what? Tickets to the game? I said, y'all in the building? There ain't no way you sitting in a seat in the stadium with a shot like that. Y'all on the bridge somewhere. Y'all on a drone. There's no way you watching the game that I'm watching. Where the fuck was y'all sitting? So they said, yeah, once I read Roz's comment, Roz gonna be mad. He said, I ain't never trusting Popeye. This Trennis dude, I ain't never trusted him to get us no seats. Never, ever again. So I realized they're actually in the building. So I said, okay, the first half is not going Then I'm looking now. Y'all got to understand, I'm in the club seats. I'm a club seat guy. I'm in the club seats. Halftime come. So I shoot him a message like, hey, bro, it's slow out here, bro. We got some blinding spots in the end zone. I don't know if Joe Burrows can see the end zone. Why don't y'all be team players and help us out with something? Can y'all change the lights up top into the direction so they can light up the end zone? Just while you sitting there, turn the light around like that for them and point it down to the stadium in the end zone. Joe Burrow don't know he can't see the end zone corners. They running, there's no light. So since y'all sitting up in the lights, can you just turn the light so they can see that blind spot down there? And Lord knows, Joe Mixon runs into the end zone right after I told him that. So we gonna give game balls to Roz and Trennis for being team players. They assisted the Bengals in a win. You get a game ball for Trennis, game ball for Roz. Give them game balls. They helped us win last night. If y'all think I'm lying, go to Roz's Facebook page and look at them shots. I swear they was shooting off their cell phone. It looked like they was on a drone outside the building, shooting inside the building. I'm scared of heights. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to sit up there. Y'all was with the pigeons and shit. You was no way. You can't tell me that if you looked over your shoulder, you seen the Ohio River. The boats and shit. It was Popeye, that's just too close to your boat. Go inside the building, bro. I know y'all had TV delay sitting up there that high. Touchdown. Everybody cheering. Then it get up to the top, then everybody cheer again. Let me be honest with you and tell you that shit happened to me one time. Years ago, who was it? Kentucky and Louisville played a basketball game. And they had to take the basketball. Both of them was in the top 5 in the nation. It was the tournament time. There was the Sweet 16. They got down to the Elite 8. And my niece went to Kentucky. So we all wanted to go to the Kentucky Louisville game. It was in the Indianapolis. What is that damn? The field house? Oil field house? You know what I'm saying? It was in that stadium in Indianapolis. So we drove. That's an hour, 15 minutes. It ain't nothing. I'm like, okay, we gonna get some tickets. Yeah, we got tickets. We got tickets. My nephew and my niece, they didn't psych me up into going to this basketball game. And I'm like, yeah, I like the hoop games. But see, I'm the type of guy that if I can't hear the ball hit the court, when the ball hit the court, I'm in the wrong building. I want the ball to when the guy dribble the ball, I don't want him to be on the third dribble by the time I hear the ball bounce. I want to be able to hear the ball, damn near feel the ball, hit the court. Well, let me just explain to you. When you put tickets in the hands of someone else and you custom to seeing things a certain way, you got to be careful. We went to Indianapolis. I drove, burned my gas up the whole nine. I paid like $150 per ticket for me, my wife, my nephew, my niece. We all went. And when I got there, we was so high in the sky in that damn oil field house, whatever it's called. It's the Indianapolis Colts Stadium. We were so high up in the Raptors. I mean, they shouldn't even allow basketball in that building. I should have just went across the street to the BW3s and watched the shit on the TV. Because I couldn't even see when the ball went in the court, went in the net. I couldn't hear the ball bounce. I couldn't see. I just watched it on the big screen sitting right next to me. I had 200 square feet of screen sitting right next to me all the way up in the top of the stadium. And I stood here and looked at the screen the whole time and watched the game. I could have stayed home for that. Thanks, Carolyn Smith. She said, Lucas Oil Stadium. I knew it was oil something. I watched the whole damn game on the video right there in the stadium the whole time, just looking at the stadium screen, the court down there, but I'm watching the big screen. 200 feet of it right in front of me. Never again. Don't ever ask me to don't ask me to go anymore. If I can't control the tickets and where they are, I don't want to be part of no travel teams, no travel guys. I'm not taking any bike rides, bus rides out of town to the Bengals game with nobody. Speaking of that, due to the win last night, it's going to make my whole ride to Tennessee this week so much sweeter. It's going to make my ride so much sweeter. I get an opportunity to do a triple header. I'm going into Tennessee this weekend for the Bengals game, which is on Sunday. I get a chance to watch some football on Saturday. Get a chance to spend the time with the family. My daughter's going to come in from Ohio State, from Columbus. She's going to ride down to Tennessee with us. And we're going to have a family weekend of football. I am. I'm going to have a wonderful weekend of football. Now, I know what they're going to do. They're going to shop. They're going to hit the strip down there. They're going to do all the shit that they do when they go to Tennessee. For y'all that don't know, Tennessee is off the hook. Tennessee is off the chain. It's really nice at nighttime, but it's even better during the day. You can get amazing food in Tennessee. So I'm going to take that trip. We're going to go down probably Friday, so I can be ready and prepared. We're going to do college football. I'm going to do college football all day Saturday. I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to hang out at the campus. They think we're going to hang out at my daughter's campus and listen to the music and do all that old shit. I'm not really going there for that, okay? Then Sunday, we're going to get up early in the morning, and we are going to tailgate. We're going to tailgate, Bengal tailgate, on Tennessee soil, on their field, in their parking lot. We're going to do what we do. We're going to tailgate on Sunday. We're going to kick up in Tennessee's ass. And then that night, we're going to go out. We're going to do what we do. Monday morning, I'll be headed back to Cincinnati. Hopefully, we'll be able to do a show on Monday. I don't know yet. All depends on how early we end up leaving. I'm an early bird. Y'all know that. I like to get on the road early. So there's a chance we may not be here on Monday, but it's probable. It's probable that we will. I'll keep everybody posted on that. I'll let everybody know. But yeah, good win by the Cincinnati Bengals. I appreciate it. Jamar Chase had a great game because all you got to do is dump and jump and dump and jump. Like I told y'all on Friday, those that laughed at my commentary of dump and jump and dump and jump, that's what I meant. Get the ball to your best player. Higgins, I don't know what the hell was wrong with him last night. He had butterfingers. He had slippery slide arms. He couldn't catch a cold in the wintertime with no shoes on. I like Higgins, but yet last night it wasn't it, bro. Last night was not how you get your contract extended. You was dropping things right in your hands and your body. I just don't understand, bro. Get it together. This one game. But you made it tough for us. You dropped a couple passes. The offensive penalties hurt us. Defensive penalties hurt us. We got to get it together. We in week 4 now of this preseason, regular season. Y'all know it's really preseason for these guys because coach don't let them play in the preseason. He don't let them play in the preseason. So our preseason begins week 1. It's been like that for 3 years now. That's what the slow start. That's where the slow start comes from. All right, and we got a good running game that we don't utilize. I'm gonna tell you something. I would run the brakes off of Mixon. I'd run his ass until he couldn't run no more. I'd run him till he tired, like they used to do in the 90s with running backs. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be an Earl Campbell. He wouldn't be the Earl Campbell, but he'd be a Tony Dorsett. You know what I'm saying? You got to run him out to the wings. Remember James Brooks back in the days? They pitched the ball out to him and he'd look like a high school running back. I need a high school running back style running back on my team. I want a running back that can run through the middle, run to the outside, and can catch the ball. You got it in Joe Mixon. Utilize him. Joe Mixon is a really good back. He very seldom falls backwards. He's always pulling forward. He always falls down frontwards. He's not a minus back. He very seldom loses yards. Y'all don't know, but Joe Mixon is a nice running back. He fits this system real well. He fits the system real well. And he don't complain. He don't complain. All right, so that's enough about that on the Bengals. What was that question? Oh, who was that? Who was that who said it? Was that you been about to check that asked me about the railroad sale on the Lincoln Ware show? And who was that asked me? He said, Mr. Ware. Well, I call Lincoln Ware. Believe it or not, I call Lincoln Ware Mr. Ware. Because he's my elder. I do respect him. I know I'm a little tough on some of the things that they say, what he may say, but it's nothing personal. It's never personal. It's just that the reason why I created my platform is to give different perspectives when I hear certain things. If it comes from there, then I address it. I say, hey, it comes from this. Did you hear on the radio? I say that. I say that for a reason. Majority of the people that watch this show that's from Cincinnati listen to the radio. So I give them where I got it from. If you don't say, did you hear it from such and such, and they know what you're talking about and you don't mention that, they'll think you sneak dissing. Well, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I don't really sneak diss. I say what I say. I might not say a name, but I'll tell you where I heard it from. That's not sneak dissing. That's giving you I'm just telling you what I heard from over there, and I'll tell you where I heard it from. Now, incorporating names and all that, I'm not big on that because a lot of people don't have clear understandings about things. Some people really think if you say their name or if you say something derogatory towards what they say, they think you're attacking them. It's crazy. I don't feel attacked when somebody says something to me or about me because I am now a public situation. Like I'm a public person now. I put it all out there and I make my opinions be known in the public. So I don't feel attacked. Just don't threaten me. Don't threaten me and we cool. I can accept. See, some people can't accept objective thinking. They think it's their way or it's no way at all. And they think that if you have a difference of opinion, then you must be, and they come up with a name. You either got to be a MAGA. And see, I'm not making this shit up. This is just something that recently happened to me. I made a comment about something, and it was totally against what these people who were on board of those thoughts, when I had a different train of thought, I turned into a fucking MAGA dude. Or whenever I thought something was a little bit different than their opinion, then I turn into a coon. And I don't understand why people feel that way or think that way. I didn't I say yesterday I was going to stop saying I don't understand. I clearly understand why they do that. Because they can't have an objective opinion thrown at them. They can't. They figure if you think something different, then you different. Then you don't agree with them. And I'm saying to myself, damn, bro, how are you ever going to better yourself? if you can't stop thinking one way? How far would we get in Cincinnati if we traveled on one-way streets everywhere? You can't make a U-turn. You can't have any alternative way of traveling. You got to take a one-way street throughout the whole city everywhere you go. How that shit gonna work out? It wouldn't work out too well. So, oh, KJ, Kenneth Jones says, I thought you was going to light that ass up. I couldn't. About what? Because look, I don't know what Mr. Ware's perception of the sale is. I don't know. He said that he's playing the fence, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. I've been clear. I don't believe, and here's the thing. When I give you my answer of should they sell the railroad or not, it's not based on information, okay? It's not based on facts. I'm giving you an opinion, but my opinion is based on the premise of lack of information. That makes sense, don't it? Why would you want me to vote for something and I don't have any information? I don't have enough information to give an educated vote to make my vote make sense. I have to know what makes sense and what don't make sense. Just simply breaking down sell or don't sell, that's not enough information. So it would get a no from me. Now, some people like to shoot shade. Let me ask you this. KJ or whoever it was that asked, did y'all see some of the comments that I was making in the comment section? I was shooting straight. I wasn't shooting shots at anybody. Y'all know I don't really shoot shots. I shoot arrows. Okay? I wasn't doing that. I was saying legitimate stuff as far as I'm concerned. But you always gonna have your little group, you always gonna have your little do-boys. You always gonna have your little groupies that feel sufficient, they feel relevant when they run with a crowd and they get all the likes and the checks and all that solidifies their position. So I made a comment because, of course, Dwight Tillery calls the radio station and he shut shit down. He shut shit down, whether the ones who like him or dislike him. I don't care if you like him or dislike him. He said some very powerful things. And what he said was, coming from a politician himself, you can't trust politicians. Now, let me explain something to you. You had some people that was lightweight shooting shots at him because he said, as a former, what was he, the mayor of Cincinnati? He said, you can't trust politicians. I seen some comments coming in saying, well, aren't you a politician? Weren't you a politician? Blah, 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 blah. Trying to discredit him a little bit. Maybe so. Let me explain something how I look at it. I look at it like this. Nobody can tell me how to be a crackhead better than a crackhead. I could watch crackheads and their activities and watch all the shit they do all day, and I know they can fix engines and build cars for $20. But I don't know how it is, and I don't know what's going through their mind when they cracking. But a crackhead do. I can listen to them. Let me give you a little better example. There's a commercial on TV right now. Anybody ever seen that commercial called Lock Life or some shit like that? It's where you own property and they're trying to protect your title from being stolen from crooks. Where you take your title, they can take your title and take it down to the clerk's office and borrow. They can, do a quick deed on quick claim on your deed or some shit like that. And they learn how to add things to your title, meaning them. Who does that commercial use? Who does that commercial use to advertise their product? You should subscribe to LifeLock because this man right here, Johnny, the white dude, Johnny used to be the crook that used to take people's deeds and change them over, and he was the crook, and he went to jail. He went to jail for stealing deeds and shit. So now the company uses him as the spokesperson by saying, hey, I could get your title. So my point being, Who do you really want to hear the truth about somebody that was in a criminal element? I want to hear from one of the crooks. I don't want to hear from Wyatt. I don't know how it is to steal deeds. I don't know the intricacies of what I got to do to take somebody's deed, take it down to the clerk's office, get it processed, and turn it over to my name. I'm not a criminal like that. But you know who I'm going to listen to? I'm going to listen to the criminal, damn it. I'm going to listen to what he tells me how I should protect myself. Great move, LifeLock, whatever y'all like, lock, or whatever y'all are. Great move to use a criminal to explain to people how they can be done in. So the way I look at it like this, Dwight Tillery, Mr. Dwight Tillery, I'm not calling you a criminal, sir. I'm just building your case for you by saying, when you said, these are politicians, don't trust them, and people say to you, well, weren't you a politician? I say, kudos to you, sir, for coming on the air, telling the black community how fucked up politicians are and not to trust them. Thank you, LifeLock. Thank you. I appreciate it. Unlike some who want to just say to you, well, wasn't you a politician? What that say about you? Fuck what it say about you, bro. I appreciate you coming on, telling my people, don't believe these people. Yeah, I know they black. I know they politicians, but they ain't going to be here. Y'all trying to change. You're not. This has nothing. I put a comment up. I said, wait a minute, hold on. Are y'all talking about policies? Are you, what did he call it? He said something about they trying to make it, I don't know. Put it in the screen. I caught it at the very tail end what he said. He called back again, and I caught the tail end of that conversation. He said, you can't trust these politicians, man. Once the railroad is sold, they can't get the asset is gone. They done already got the money, and they going to do what they going to do. And whatever promises they done made, ordinance. Thank you, Carolyn Smith. Carolyn Smith was there. She brought it right to me. Thank you. You woke me up. He said ordinance can be changed all the time. He's absolutely right. And I'm not going to sit here and ride, I'm not going to ride him like that. Like, all I'm saying to you is this. The man said exactly what the people needed to hear, but some people don't want to hear that. You too trusted in your politicians because you put them in there. Now, let me get to what I say. Let me get to what I said. What I said in my message on the show was, I find it odd. I find it very odd that the city of Cincinnati has this big thing going on with a $1.6 billion accusation. And I haven't heard from a city council member. They're not advertising anything. They're not saying anything about it. They're hush, 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 hush. I find it's kind of weird to me that you don't hear any of them talking about it. And somebody makes a comment in the screen. Some of y'all seen it. And they said, now, y'all got to keep in mind, I don't oppose, when somebody opposes like my opinion, I'm not mad at them, but you got to be careful how you oppose somebody's opinion. When I made that comment, I said this. I said, I find it awfully weird that we're not hearing from city council, the people that you voted for to make these type of decisions. They're your leadership, and it's crickets. I think it's a legitimate concern. You know what somebody said in the comment screen? And I know it was an attack on me, but I'm going to keep it cool because I reached out to some people. I'm going to keep it cool and classy. They said to me, and I know it was guided to me. They didn't say Wyatt. They just answered it. Nobody else was talking about city council till I just said this. So they make a comment saying, well, why don't you reach out to your city council meeting members by email and grow up? The fuck? Reach out to any of y'all ever emailed your city council member and wanted to know what they stood on anything? Let me ask you this in a better way. Has your city council member or their team ever reached out to you through email for you to vote for their ass? Do they reach out to you through email to get your support? When you voted for them, did you think that you was going to have to email them for them to make their self available to the public that voted for them? It's not how you opposed my opinion, bro. It's the grow up at the end, as if I said some childish shit. Like I just said some shit that didn't make any sense at all. Like I just told him, like, hey, like I said some playground shit. What I said was very relevant. And I guarantee you, I am not the only one that's wondering why city council is so quiet about this. Am I? I see it in the comments all the time. People like, yeah, this, I don't understand. Where's such and such? Where's such and such? I don't hear this. And now what you gonna do? They gonna bring the mayor on the radio show. What he gonna say? He gonna vote for it because guess what? Every mayor that's ever been the mayor of Cincinnati, except Dwight Tillery, all say yes to this. Y'all don't find that to be a little weird? And then when Dwight Tillery comes on the radio and tells you it's a no for him, and he gives you receipts of why it's a no, his receipts are proven because the black economy in Cincinnati is weak, and it's because of the points that he made. When big purchases are done or big sales, when they get a win sum of money, it never goes to the black community. He's right. Now, the same person that put me down and said, grow up, I ask you, you helped these people get elected. Maybe that's why I need to grow up. They came on your platform, pitched, and said that Cincinnati was going to be a different Cincinnati. Well, is it a different Cincinnati? Is what Dwight Tillery said today on the radio still relevant like it was 20 or 30 years ago when it came down to the black economy of Cincinnati? But you sold them same people that are crickets right now. You sold them to the black folks. You let them come on and run ads. You told everybody it was going to be a different Cincinnati. What did black Cincinnati got so far? An apology. What that mean? What that do? So let me ask you, why would you say me asking where is Cincinnati City Council with a $1.6 billion deal sitting there that you asking the people to vote for, who in their right mind don't want to hear from their city council members? Who don't want to hear from the people that they stood out and voted for and may need guidance on what we should do? I put you in a leadership position so I'll know that I have a person there that can represent us and make us and help us make the right decisions. Who don't want that? So I'm supposed to reach out to their email. Now, here's the grow up thing to me. Let's be grown for real. Who in their right mind think that within 24 hours or 48 hours or anything, who really thinks that they're going to email you back? Sound kind of childish to me, sitting back waiting for them who ain't being vocal. They're not being vocal about the issue, so I seriously doubt you're going to get a heads up, a straight answer in private on an email. I doubt it. Let's go to the phone lines. Maybe it's one of them they can call and let me know. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Uh-oh, hold on, caller. I'm sorry. You were down low. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, dear brother. This is the Iris Rowley calling you, and I don't think that was me in that particular chat that said that to you.
No, it was not you. It was not you.
But let me tell you. I'm sorry, dear brother. Go right ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to address the ordinance because I want Black Cincinnati to get a clean perspective of where it came from and why, right? Two, I want to underscore that ordinance is just not talking about whether the railways sell or not, because I don't care whether they sell it or not. What I do care about is Black people and how we are able to live in this particular city.
Absolutely.
But I'm talking about the $10 billion on the Brent Spence Bridge and the land that will come with that. I'm talking about the infrastructure dollars that are coming down from the federal government for the next 10 years. I'm talking about the 200 million that we're looking at the convention center reconstruction or facade changes. We're talking about the billions of dollars that will be all these are our tax dollars that will go to the hotel. So there are a plethora of huge money deals that are happening in this city
I agree.
right now. And so, what we attempted to do, because the same thing we've attempted to do many times before, when our Black people who are experts in the field of economics, development, wealth creation, right,
Yep.
are not putting forth our interest. And so what we did was ask our attorneys to look at how can we legally do something that has been done in Evanston, Illinois, something that has been done in California around Black people, in other towns and cities in the United States, as it relates to righting wrongs, attempting to, because I don't think that these ginormous wrongs can ever be corrected. However, we can get something back. What Reverend Lynch said to us today is how many groups of people have gotten reparations based on a historical wrong, whether we agreed to or not. Right?
Right.
Today, dear brother, the conversation that we put forth around that ordinance was to do the heavy lifting for the Black community as well as our elected officials, because they're no smarter than you and I. And see, once you understand that people elect people for whatever reason, doesn't mean they understand how to work in and run government. And will they represent your interests?
You better be careful. You can't come over here talking. Well, yes, you can. You can come over here talking real, but you got to be careful because people can hear you. They can hear you. So you got to be careful.
And it's been the same conversation all my life. I do not shuck and jive when it comes to Black people.
So now let me
ask you this. I do not shuck and jive when it comes to our tax dollars.
So now
I do not shuck and jive when it comes to quality of life for us.
So now let me say this. I'm sorry, Ms. Rowley. I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to kind of get in there because I know you can do it. You can get where you're going, but I want to kind of intervene on some of these points that you're making because
yes,
I find it to be a little odd that the people that you elect don't make any comments about what's best, because these are people that are in position. They're elected by the people. The people
but it doesn't mean they know what's best.
It don't mean that they know, but at least we should have an idea of what they think.
And that idea should come before you color that box in, before you elect them. Remember, I said whatever reason or not, we elect people. Most of us elect people based on popularity. Oh, I heard their name.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling. See, you got to understand, Mrs. Rowley, we on the same boat. We saying the same thing. I just get there a little different way. I'm trying to explain to people, don't just vote for people for popularity. Do you hear me on the show talk about that a lot?
Yes, sir, I do.
I tell people, you got to vote policy. You can't vote people. Everybody ain't on the same page when it comes to policy. Everybody don't have your interests at heart.
So, everybody does not have your quality of life at heart. And everybody that is running is promising different groups of people different things.
They don't owe the people all the time. They owe the people that got them there.
And most people that run for office never, ever, you very rarely hear them say that they are going to do things specifically for Black people.
They won't.
You very rarely hear that. So when you don't hear that, what is our job? What is our job as citizens? What is our job? Now, whether you agree with me or not, but I'm going to push your ass, whether you elected or appointed, to get what I believe we need to have for our people. And so because I understand my gifts and talents, and I understand where I am in this world right now, and it is my job to do that. So we had our attorney draft this ordinance after doing significant research.
Iris Rowley, who is this we? When you say we, who are you referring to?
I'm referring to the Cincinnati Black United Front.
Okay. See, here's the thing. Let me just interrupt and then you can have the floor. Here's the thing. I tuned out of the show before. I didn't even hear Reverend Lynch speak. Okay, I didn't hear that. I tuned out of the show because I was, on the way back home and all that. Then I caught the tail end, and what happened is Dwight Tillery, I caught the tail end of
I heard
his second call.
Former Mayor Dwight Tillery.
Yes. Now, that was his second call. I caught the tail end of it.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm lost at what was talked about. I just heard them talking about something about What was it that he was talking about? Somebody put
So,
it on the
so
screen.
he actually called in his first call, and it's at his first call. I 100% agree, because based on all of the things that we've ever seen happen for, against, and to us, what we very rarely get is something that can repair it in a significant way. But there are several things that go into that, so it's not like an absolute point, period at that sentence. I am a believer, if you do not demand, craft, and create what
That's
it
right.
is that you want to see for your people, you're not going to get it. And just because you elect people elect people because of their interests. If do you hear Jewish people having these
Nope.
conversations?
Nope. But why, when I say stuff like that, I'm a hater of my own race, Iris Rowley? Can you explain to people when I bring up and I'm critical of our black leadership and I hold them responsible? They ask us for the vote. They asked us to be part of. They want. Nobody told Iris Rowley to go be a leader. You chose to be a leader, correct? So if so, what's required from you is what you give. If somebody asks me to vote for them in my interest, when it's time for them to make decisions on things that apply to me, I need them to speak up. I need to know where they stand. I need to know what's going on. And if they can't do that, that's a bad leader. That's just me.
Absolutely. And so what I'm saying to you all today on this particular issue, because I heard former Mayor Dwight Tillery call back in, who was former mayor of this town.
Yep.
So we're holding people accountable. I can go back and hold you accountable for not putting systems in place so we didn't have to come 20 years later having the same dialogue. You were the former mayor. But I'm not, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build, and I don't have time for the distractions. And since you were the former mayor, then you know how we should write these things. What's the best way? And then when you when you want to refer to the collaborative, because let me tell you, dear brother, while it is not utopia in the city of Cincinnati for Black people and police, take your black butt to Columbus and see what's happening. Go to Cleveland. You can go right up to the road to Dayton. They don't have the provisions that we have been fighting for and sitting and staying at the table, monitoring and continuously negotiating. I'm not saying it's that, but what I am saying to us as Black people who pay taxes, we pay for police. If you don't demand a better service, what you gonna get? And while we're at that, dear brother, while I'm here fighting, what I'm saying to the Secret Service inside of my community, I'm not talking about the ones that work for the federal government. I'm talking about those who are building and trying to figure out how we get better. Until we determine how we're going to have our own police force and why it can be the chief there, then if you don't go negotiate for your dollar, because that man going to beat you thinking every time and you ain't at the table talking about your dollar, then you going to get the service that they believe that you need. Absolutely. Because everybody don't like you and don't agree that you deserve anything. That includes sometimes people who look like you.
I agree.
Do you know how many times, how many Black people told us to not sue the city and the FOP and the police? Black people in this town told us not to do that.
I can imagine.
I said, I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for my grandchildren, so they won't have to.
So now let me ask you this a little bit on the railroad. It's the ordinance is what I'm not familiar with. You made it clear that y'all were talking about some different ways that the ordinance could be written. Dwight Tillery came on and said,
No. The ordinance is draft language. I'll send it to anybody that wants it. Put your name in the chat. Or inbox me your email. I will send to you the draft ordinance right now.
Okay.
I can read it to you. I can tell you what it says. But what we're asking them to do is to take this before council right now, before the first day of early vote, to say that they will put not money from the sale, because that's the legal piece, right? People were saying, well, you can't get money from the sale. No, you can't. But you can get money off the money that they already get. Even if you say no, what have we gotten off the 25 million, dear brother?
Nothing.
It's been going on since 1988, I believe. What have we gotten? So when I hear people talking about it, who've been in politics, who was a politician, and this thing has been in play for all of these years, and we've not gotten a dime in a fund so that we can build what Wyatt says we need to build, so we can have our own so we can start to repair some of the damage that has been done to us.
So what happens? Let me just ask you. Let's cut through the chase. Iris Roller, you know how politics roll. Let me ask you a quick question since I got you on the phone. And you don't sound like you're trying to hold nothing back today, so I might as well ask you. Why we didn't have who we wanted in the offices. We didn't have Democrats in there. We didn't have Republicans in there. And why aren't black folks in the city of Cincinnati getting what they need when they have the people that they want in the offices? Why are they being silent once they get up there?
Well, I would say this, dear brother. One, we don't get what we need because we don't know what we want. We don't put things forward. We believe once you elect a person that they know exactly what you want. And that's backwards thinking. And how is that? Either we come up with a plan in multiple areas so that we can have the best quality of life. And I don't mind if we're talking about from children to seniors. We need to have a plan. Everybody has plans but us. One of the greatest things we could have ever done, dear brother, when we wrote the collaborative, it is a plan for continuous improvement on how police should police Black people. Not everybody, Black people. We sued on behalf of Black people. So if we don't have these plans and we assume that everybody is going to do the bidding of which we didn't tell them what to bid for us, that's backwards thinking. The second thing I think the reason that we don't is that we don't develop our own politicians. People to go in to negotiate that we know walking in the door saying, this is what the Black community wants. We don't have to do another damn study to determine a disparity. We've studied ourselves to goodness gracious.
Well, they got to spend the money somewhere.
We already know what we know.
They got to spend the money somewhere. You know, them studies
They
cost.
have to. You better believe that the other side is chomping at the bits. And let me tell you what I saw Julie Calvert of the Convention and Visitors Bureau last week. It blew my mind. I woke up and I was literally in tears. And I called Reverend Lynch. I said, Reverend Lynch, did you see Julie Calvert on the TV? He said, sister, I do believe. I said, she said they want another arena up the street from TQL Stadium.
Right. I'm tripping on that one myself, Iris. On that one myself.
She was pointing up the street. I said he said, I saw that.
Another arena.
Want another arena. And we're another arena.
Wait a minute. I talked about that last week. I said, you got to be kidding me. Another arena for entertainment.
Wyatt,
right, okay.
You're smart. Tell me who in the world is Andrew Brady?
Hey, we don't need another arena. We don't need another arena. You got 3 on the river down there. You just got the TQL Stadium. You got 2 over on Newport. We don't need another one. They don't even utilize the black. What is that down there on the banks that we have down there? The black
we got the Heritage. We got the U.S. Bank Arena.
Oh,
we got.
Goodness.
I mean, hell, we got them.
And hold on, tax dollars fund them all.
Yep, we spent almost $1 million, $34 million in abatements to TLQ Stadium. Built the infrastructure. This is our dollar. I can't go in and take a pipe and say I want my stuff back because you're talking about letting something get away from you. Now, here's the other thing I want to say, dear brother Wyatt, and I'm going to send you this also. Because once they start having this conversation about selling the railway, and I remember 10 years ago, we kind of go through this conversation about every 10 years. Mm-hmm. But when you are engaged like I am, is a lot of stuff you're trying to keep up with. I'm trying to move parts, trying to hold on to my business, trying to save my own family, trying to make sure Black folks have equity in policing, trying to ensure that we get housing. All of these things that matter to our daily lives, right? Mm-hmm. So when the conversations started coming up about the railway, I said, what? Let me do some research. But that ain't really my lane. I'm trying to stay in this lane of ensuring police do us well in this town, right? Treat us well and held accountable when they don't. So I'm looking for other Black people in the economic realm. Where is our Black chamber in these deals?
Good luck finding that type of help. The only help you're going to get is people that I mean, I try to help. I try to speak on it. I figure, let me ask you this before I make that point. I don't know where you are in your opinion of the sale. Should it be a sale of the railroad or not? You don't have to give a long drawn out.
At this particular point, Wyatt, I'm not for it or against it. What I am for, and this may not make sense to a lot of people, is that if it is, because I'm gonna tell you, when the stadium landed in the OTR and folk was saying no, everybody said no, and it landed anyway. I'm not for certain that we're ready to push back in the ways that we need to push back.
Right. We're
The
not
only reason
not equipped for
good
the fight.
people, and Wyatt, I came on your show and I said to you, the only reason, the only way we got the work done on the CA is because we pulled out tools from the Civil Rights Handbook. When you can create the opportunity to draft a boycott and sanctions on travel and tourism, that means you have done your research and you know how your city really makes money. It really makes money when you can shut down the money for 3 years. When you can ask Black people, do not come downtown and shop. When you can file a federal lawsuit, and when you lead in the street your own agony and pain, that stops people in their tracks and say, you know what, they mean business because they're not just out here spitting out words to see where they splatter.
Right.
And it wasn't personal. It wasn't just for Iris Rowley Hill. I wasn't having personal problems with the police at that time. You understand?
Right.
This
No,
was for the collective. So when you understand how to do this work, we might be able to have some nice things, is all I'm saying, y'all. Let's not get in the way of trying to figure out how to build. Last thing, Wyatt, I'll say to you, dear brother, and I promise this is my last thing.
No, I opened the can.
They never said to us they liked us. And I don't know where we've gotten into this dream world, right? That they gonna change how they do us. We know that racism and sexism and all these things and privilege have kept us down, right?
Yep.
And we ain't, it ain't been because somebody walked in and said, you elect me and I'm gonna free y'all. We had to fight. We had to fight for it. And so what I'm saying to us today, all we simply did was on behalf of us say, look, here's an opportunity to at least start a fund for Black people. Everybody else got one. Start one. I'm not saying I trust them, I like them. I'm saying I want my tax dollar to go into a fund so that if dear brother Randall Wyatt says he wants to build us whatever, and we got a fund to do it, and I don't have to come down here begging for $25,000 and fighting over some crumbs with other Black people just to get that, knowing that that's not going to move the pendulum anywhere.
Right. So quick thing, 2 things real fast, and it's going to be real quick. I promise you. I made a comment in Lincoln Ware's Facebook post, during his live show, and I asked a question, Iris. I said, "You mind if I call you Iris? Because you know me,
yes, absolutely, okay. Absolutely."
I made a comment in the section, Iris, and I said it puzzles me that city council is very quiet to the community about this railroad thing. They're our leadership, and I find it to be. I didn't say anything disrespectful. But then I get a little pushback from some individuals, a individual who says, well, why don't you reach out to your city council person, grow up? And I'm saying to myself, they don't reach out to us through emails. They use platforms like Lincoln Ware. They use podcasts and radio and all that to reach out to the people when they want something from the people. So for something, a $1.6 billion acquisition like this, you would think that they would be a little bit more vocal on where they stand and what they could do.
You're absolutely correct. You're correct. You're absolutely correct.
So I think that's a form of bad leadership. Here's the other thing.
And I agree with you. So now is election time, dear brother Wyatt. And so that question must be asked. When we go to these forums, you need to ask the question and then put a comma and an and in the question. And what do you propose to get out of this for Black people?
Right. Now,
don't ask for everybody.
Right.
Say for Black people.
Right. And a general statement, for everybody, for us. So now here's the other comment I made in the screen, and I need your opinion on this. When I made that comment, I get a little blowback, just a little bit. It was from somebody. It doesn't really matter. It was not a childish comment that I made. But now here's my other follow-up to that. I said, now, if they're talking like this, if they're saying they're going to sell this railroad, get $1.6 billion, is it possible to write in the contract that $400 million goes into Black-owned banking in the city of Cincinnati that can underwrite Black-owned businesses?
There you go.
Why don't we have that type of conversation?
You're right on point.
Why don't we have those type of conversations? That's what we should be talking about.
That's what we should be talking about. Inside of the ordinance, it talks about that. We also even lifted up the mayor's blueprint for economic wealth sustainability for Black people that he has out. And that's the other part of it, dear brother Wyatt, is that the mayor campaigned on things for Black people: housing, jobs, businesses. He said Black. I was at the groundbreaking for dear brother Shannon Dillman Duke Way. He and Sandra Jones' 50-unit affordable senior housing building for seniors in Avondale. Mm-hmm. The mayor said Black more than the Black people. Hold people accountable for the language that they use out of their mouth. This ain't personal. Right. But it is when you're talking about my tax dollar, because I want ours to come back to us in a way that we can see it and grow it and do it. This, what we're asking y'all, ain't nothing out of the ordinary. People go get it. If we don't go get it,
they're never gonna give it to you.
Somebody else going to get it.
You never gonna get it.
And they're gonna have a new 16,000, 18,000 seat arena that all we can do is pay tickets and go sit our asses in the chair and watch it.
Or we can be entertained. Maybe not educated, but we can get entertained. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Entertained.
You keep
yes,
a person
so
entertained.
Anybody wants a draft of the ordinance, please. What we're asking everybody to do is to call council and say, y'all all got it. They each and every last one of them got it. The mayor has it. Everybody has it. But we cannot allow them to just not even mention if they want this thing to go, because the sale is up to us. We get to vote on it.
Exactly. And
we get to leverage our vote on this.
And the fact that there's very limited information about the sale and the proceeds of the sale and what it means to sell, what it means not to sell. Just the fact that there's no information out there, it puzzles me. And then you got to look at your leadership when it comes down to why it's that way. That's I can't. Somebody's getting paid. Somebody's getting paid when it don't make sense. It's making dollars for somebody.
It's making dollars for somebody. Mr. Randall Wyatt, I'll say this. I promise the last thing. I know I said that 3 times. But there are 5 issues on the ballot, 5 or 6, that deal with money. And not one of them deal with money. The marijuana that's coming from the state, the marijuana law is coming from the state. We have not even done our research on that, right?
Right.
That bill will not free you if you're currently locked up for selling marijuana, won't clear your record, but they want to make it recreational. They want to make it legal.
And they want
what kind of shenanigans is that?
Because
who wrote this stuff?
Hey, listen, it's a tax-based come up. And they know that if they can push you out of the traffic of getting some of that tax-based funding and money, that's what they're gonna do. There's no fixing what's already been done in these contracts, right? Like they don't want to repair the problem from the start. They want to kind of like just wipe the slate clean, but then bury under that dust that they wipe clean. They bury the bad situations, and it's hard to explain. I can't stand it. And we get bamboozled at the polls all the time by these fake ass, excuse my language, these fake politicians, and they use us for our votes. And I've been over here
Randall,
preaching that.
The only reason that I'm a believer in the collaborative agreement, dear brother, is because we wrote it. Not the politicians or their attorneys. The Black United Front and their attorneys wrote it. Y'all, that's how bad we really are. And I mean bad as in good, magnificent, excellent, powerful, determined. We can do this. Our ancestors have already laid the blueprint for us, and we got to stop walking away from our true selves. We have to stop inviting other people to stand where we need to be standing and fighting for us. Not fighting for other people don't make you wrong, because other people don't fight or come to help free you and your children. And nor should we be distracted by that. Right. When we are, we don't look to do the work that we need to do. Again, dear brother, if anybody wants a copy of the draft ordinance that we wrote up, if anybody wants to weigh in on that, please take a look at it. If anybody is interested in all this money that's being moved around, not just in the city, but the county as well, that is our tax dollar. We need to be about that and stop being about, and I apologize to you, dear brother, to whomever said that to you in that in that
Oh, you
chat on
talking
that
about it?
other
Oh,
show.
I'm not
I
worried about it.
apologize for that
Then you
because
don't have
those
to
are
apologize.
distractions, and we're taking out our pain and anger and hurt on the wrong people.
You would be
You are not my
surprised.
enemy. If even if we disagree, you're not my enemy.
And
You didn't create this condition.
no, you're absolutely right. And Iris Rowley, you know, you far from mine. Okay. But what I find to be our biggest problem is the true divide. When you have differences of opinion, there's a way as grown folks we need to voice and deal with our differences of opinion. When you get to name calling or trying to belittle someone's opinion, that's not a strong approach of how that's not a strong way to get your point across when you become a
No.
juvenile of trying to explain your point by lowering someone else's credibility by calling them a name or that to me is a weak position. And I just feel like if we have some look, you and I don't have to agree on everything. Let's just get to the finish line. You know what I mean?
And call me if you want me to adjust it and see your way of thinking.
Exactly.
And community, I'm serious about that. If I'm moving and you see that you don't like the way I'm moving and you want to say something, call me.
Yep.
Just call me, because I really am sensitive about my peeps and the stuff that I do. Right? I'm still a girl. I'm still Jesse's wife.
I understand.
But because we have been so beaten down, we still matter. We still value. And what we want and need to have great communities is ours to go and get. Please, again, if anybody wants to know anything, last thing. Rand, I'm going to do a 5-year report out on the collaborative refresh.
Mhm.
We signed that 5 years ago.
Mhm.
So I want the community to know where we are because we had a host of recommendations from a team of national experts. I want you all to know this is me being accountable to my people. I'm not elected. I ain't asked nobody for no vote. But my job, my ancestors talk to me every day. I have got to come back and report to y'all where we are. And that's my commitment to us. People ask me all the time, Randall, why do you do this work? You don't get paid to do it, because I don't. I get paid to advise.
Right.
I don't get paid to do the work. But I love my people, and I know that I'm supposed to. And I'm going to do it until the day I have no air in my breath to fight for us. I am going to do it. So again, people, if you're interested in that ordinance, inbox me your email. I will send it to you. Let's dialogue. Let's talk about all of these trillions of dollars that are moving around. We got to stop being short-sighted and distracted by all the stuff that ain't gonna get us nothing.
Let me say this before you go. I got to give you your roses while you are here on Wyatt Live and while you here with us, in plain flesh. I applaud you for the work you've put in. I've always been an admirer of yours. We've had conversations on and off the show, and I respect everything that you do. And I'm just going to say that here on the air. One other thing that I've always
said. But I prefer irises. I prefer irises.
You prefer iris?
The flower iris. I prefer irises as to roses. But go ahead.
Okay, well, that's that young people talk that I try to do every once in a while. I always try to throw my little young shit out there, Iris, just a little bit. So we're gonna give you your irises today. But I'm just gonna say this to you. I'm gonna put everything you said in a nutshell real fast. It's what I've always said here on Wildlife. They hate when I say that. You know that, Miss Iris Rowley. They hate when I say, see, I told you so. But what you just said is we got to understand how the money moves. That's exactly what you just said. And I've been preaching that. I've been preaching that on Wyatt Live for 3.5 years without a paycheck from this show. See,
yes, sir. I've heard you, and you've texted me on some things like, all right, sis, but that ain't how it go. And I got to receive that.
But that's okay. We here for each other for certain things. Yes. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying to people is you can tell who's putting the real work in by the sacrifices they make. It don't always come with a reward. It don't always come with trinkets. It don't always come from your people that really want to believe in you. Sometimes it comes from the people that are most stubborn. Those are the ones that you helping the most. You know that, right? The people that are the most stubborn.
Cry, dear brother. People don't know I get thanked with a whole lot of no thank yous and a whole lot of beat ups, and I got to fight with the man. I got to fight the man for us. Then I got to come back and fight the community for us to get stuff. It's exhausting, but it's okay.
You know who you remind me of? You remind me of that mother that keep their kid out of trouble, but the trouble can't. The kid is always mad at you because you just won't let him do what he want to do. You know that. Everybody know that feeling. Everybody got that parent like, no, you can't come in at 1:30, 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. Ain't nothing good out in them streets that late. And you like, well, all my friends out there. And you know how it is. You're saving them
Oh
from
yes, I
themselves.
do. Yes, I do. So
All right.
and we all should be about that business. And I appreciate you giving me this platform, dear
Well,
brother.
we're gonna have to get
At
you on the
any
show
time,
because 30 minutes is not enough. You got to be more. You special. You more special than a call. I need you on a guest. I'm gonna reach out to you and get you. I need you for at least an hour. This ain't enough time.
okay,
Okay, so we're
okay,
gonna get you on. We're
we'll
gonna get
do
you
it.
scheduled. Okay.
Appreciate you.
I
Appreciate
appreciate
you.
you more, Queen.
Thank you so
All right,
much.
talk to you. It's Iris Rowley. She was on the call. She was actually in the chat. I said the call. She was in the chat during the time that they were talking about the railroad on the radio. Now she apologized for somebody who said something to me. I ain't tripping on that. Iris Rowley ain't got nothing to do with that. Stop apologizing for people that don't even you ain't had nothing to do with that. You ain't had nothing to do with that, Iris. I just watch how people move. And people who tend to want to be slick with you and say things, trying to discredit you. You got to watch those folks because you just got to be careful. You got to be careful. And I've never reached out to somebody in this industry of podcasting, radio, or anywhere and didn't have good intentions. I've always had good intentions. First of all, let me explain something to you. We've been here since March of 2020, 3.5 years. I never thought I would be sitting here this long. My intentions was not to be Wyatt live and be Wyatt talking on the show. That was never my intentions. I reached out to other podcasters, to radio people. I reached out. Things didn't work out. I would never on the air say something negative or derogatory about any of them. That's not my style. I don't have to. All right. It just didn't work out. But let me just say this. My intentions was never to be sitting here talking like I'm talking. It was never that. My intentions was to get the people that do this type of stuff to do it. But what I found out is sometimes you just got to do it yourself, damn it, because some things don't work out. And when they don't work out, you can't just sit back and stop. I still have a dream. My dream might not be what you think it is. My dream may not be sitting here trying to be the host of a show, but I have a dream of a network. And some people can't see past it because they can't see past you. They think that you are being selfish and I just know business, okay? I know how to conduct myself in certain situations. And if I can't find people who are on the same, frequency, then I move on and I keep doing and I go and I go and I go. But one thing I'm never going to do is every time I approach the baseball game, I knew going into that day, if I'm starting, I get 4 times at the plate. I'm going to swing the bat 4 different times. I get 4 chances at the plate. I'm not going to strike out my first time and then tell the coach, take me out the game. I don't want to do it no more. He struck me out with a curveball and I look stupid. I look dumb. I don't want to do it. I can't go back up to the plate, coach. I'm going to fail the team. I ain't never had a loser's attitude. Coach, I struck out the first time. My apologies. I get another shot, don't I? Put me in the game. Don't take me out. I get 3 more shots at the plate. Yesterday, I said something. I got blowback for it. I said one thing that I felt might have been a little aggressive. And I said the difference between winners and losers is winners understand. You can see the difference in winners. Winners never stopped after they lost that first time. I told y'all Bud Crawford lost 4 fights in the amateurs. And now he's the biggest fighter in the world. If he had a loser's mentality, it would only took him 1 time, 2 times, 3 times to lose fights as an amateur, and he would have never continued his path of where he is today. Because one thing about losers is they lose and then they stop. They feel like a winner because they quit. No, you got to be able to hear the no's. You got to be able to hear the yes. The no's are going to be louder than the yeses. The yeses feel better, but the no's, they're going to be plenty of no's. And I'm still on my path. Still on the path of doing what we're doing. It's just I got to hold down the network myself. Now, I'm going to say something to y'all. Y'all going to trip out when I say this, but I done reached out to my man, Emmanuel Livingston. We had a long conversation. We can't have a conversation past, it's going to be at least an hour. I can't have a short, hey, how you doing? Happy birthday. Talk to you later. We can never have that conversation. We got to talk about everything that's been talked about in the last year. And we do that within an hour. Well, he's been avoiding me. Y'all know that, right? Where you at, E? Where you at, E? Hold on. Where you at, E? Where you at? Where you at, E? I've been waiting. Emmanuel, come out and play. Emmanuel, come out. Some of y'all don't know what that's from. That's from Warriors. That's from Warriors. Now, I wasn't really born when Warriors was out. I just happened to hear about Warriors. I watched the VHS tape of the Warriors. Warriors, come out and play. Now, I talk and I touch base with my man E. We ready to get back in the booth. We ready to get back out here and share opinions. We here to go hard. Can you dig it, McConnell? Emmanuel's been dodging me. So I said, E, it's time. We got to get it. We got to get it, bro. And he was like, yeah, man, shit, let's get it. Diana said, I thought that was Diddy. Diddy ain't done an original thing in his life. His name ain't even original. Come on, Diane. Diddy is the remix king. He is the sample king. He ain't never done nothing original in his life. Every beat he ever made, he had to steal the Temptations. He had to steal Maze, Frankie Beverly, or Rocky or some shit. He ain't never done nothing original. When you think originality, the last person in my mind is P. Diddy. My God. I'm only kidding, just having fun with it. But yeah, Emmanuel and I had a conversation today. We ready to get back in the booth. We ready to go head to head. We ready to go back at it and bring King and I back. We just got to get the scheduling right and things. His busy schedule, my schedule. We have to make it work. I'm willing to sacrifice one of my days of Wyatt Live so we can do this collaboration. I have no problem working with my brother. E-Man was very special to me. I reached out to him when he left the radio station. He didn't hesitate. He said, let's do it, Wyatt. Shit, let's get it. Let's do it. Let's pop it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get it. So I held him up to it. We did live broadcasts. We did some special things in a short period of time. So I think it's time for us to get back in the booth and do what we do. Now, y'all got to understand. Neither one of us take it personal. We don't take it personal. Like, we agree on a lot of stuff, but there's some things we don't agree with. And I'll save it. I'll save it for the show. We had conversations today. We was arguing. I'm going to tell y'all something. If y'all miss this new version of King and I, y'all going to miss the world. But we building over here. And, E-Man and us, we got a lot in common. We got a lot in common. And I think we need to share it with the world. We got hated on. We didn't have people tell us. And I'm going to save it. But we got hated on. And I'm going to wait to share how we got hated on by some people that y'all be loving. They loving. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. But what I like to do is I don't like to sit at the 6th grade lunchroom table and tell these type of stories. I like to bring receipts to the table whenever I'm not accusing, but whenever I bring something up that I feel somebody may have said. Like on the radio today when somebody said what I said was whack or whatever, and I need to grow up. Well, I'll be honest with you. The most immaturity you ever gonna get from a guy like me is gonna be doing some shit like this. Emmanuel, that's the only immature thing you ever gonna get from me. Because everything over here been strictly business. Everything over here has been strictly business, and everything over here has been about the better of my people, to upgrade, up level my people. Because I'm seen as being someone that criticizes his own people. Well, hell, the last time I checked, we all can be criticized. We all can be criticized. So for me to sit back and criticize politicians and y'all want to take it, not you, but people want to take it personal because I criticize a politician. What? I can't criticize somebody that's a politician because they black? Are you serious? Are you serious? It's okay for me to vote for them because they black, but I can't criticize them for they black. Who do that? Who does that? And who would want to live in a world like that? Well, I'm not gonna make an announcement of a date or anything like that, but E and I talking, shit, it could have went down today, but when I talked to him, he had to play like he was asleep. Hello. Hello. Now, ain't nobody in the world ever asked who this is. We live in a world where everybody on their phone, unless you got a flip phone, and I don't know what them do because I ain't had one in 20 years, but everybody's phone tell you who calling. Everybody's phone say it's Wyatt. He answered the phone, say hello. Who is this? You know who it is. You know who this is, E. Let's get it. Anyway, that's my brother. And none of y'all can do anything about that being my brother. We gonna give it to y'all. We gonna huff and puff. And we gonna blow a few houses down. But we got love for one another. And we gonna have fun doing it. Let me go to the phone line. Somebody just called. Let me take the phone lines before I move on to the next
Hello.
topic. Yes, this is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Uh-oh.
Hi. I was just calling because
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a troll. He said, hello. I knew when I heard him. Y'all remember the last call I got like that? Who remember this a couple years ago? I remember it like it was yesterday. I ain't no snitching nothing, but I am going to tell you what happened. Who remember that? Who remember when that phone call came in and they was like, hello? And it was like, hello? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Who is the caller? Hey, caller, what's up? And he was like, hey, do you know such and such? I ain't going to say the person's name, but it was a female, black female. And he was like, do you know such and such? Do you know where we can contact her? She stole my truck. And I'm like, what? Do you know where you calling? Yes, I know she watched your show. I know she's always here, but I don't know where she is. She stole my truck. And I'm like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you listen to the show? And he was like, I know she's on the show. I know she listened to the show. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I just got myself into. But no, I'm not going to snitch on somebody right here live on the air. Happened to be that little sister, our sister, I love her to death. Her name was Kat. He was like, I know you know Kat. Hello. I know you see, I know you know Kat. She calls your show. She's part of your show. She stole my truck. I'm like, bro, I don't have a cat. I have a dog. I have dogs at home. I don't have a cat. I don't know. Hello, can you hear me? And hung up. He wanted me to snitch on the sister on live podcast. The fuck? I mean, it's one thing to don't even ask me. You're killing my credibility by asking. Who gave you my number? What in your mind thought that I would even say anything right here live on the air about somebody that didn't got you? No, I don't know nobody by the name. Is that I don't know. I got a dog. I don't know Cat. No, that was somebody else you heard on the show for 4 straight days. That wasn't her. I'm only kidding. Hey, now, quick thing, man, before I get out of here. I got a couple more minutes. Let me just say this. The UAW strike. I happen to be riding through the Lakota. Is that Lakota? The Westchester area. And I see them outside. And I'm saying to myself, you know what, Wyatt? You should be that reporter and go talk to the UAW people about this strike. And I'm saying to myself, I'm questioning myself. Y'all know I got different personalities. I got this one on this shoulder and another one on the other shoulder, and they talking to one another, and I'm in the middle listening to this shit. And I'm like, I'm listening to this one, and he's saying, go on over there, Wyatt, and ask him some questions. Ask him some questions. And the other one was like, ask him what kind of questions? What kind of questions? Wyatt, stay out of it. Just stay out of it. Let them people do because that's real. Those people over there not getting a paycheck anymore from their companies, they walked out. Don't be a fool and go over there and instigate some shit. Then the other one's on my shoulder say, go instigate some shit. Go on over there and see if they for real. And I'm in the middle kind of rocking like, okay, well, what kind of questions would I ask? And I already know why they're outside. I already know why they're picketing. I already know why they're on strike. But I don't want to know why they on strike. I know you're trying to get a pay raise. I know you're trying to get a 32 hour work, 40 hours. I know you're trying to get all that shit. So I don't want to ask a question. I don't want to ask a rhetorical question because I might get a different answer and it might lead into something that I really don't want to have a conversation about. You ever done that? Ladies, you ever asked a man if he's cheating and you already know the answer? What happens when he lies to you? What happens when he tell you a lie? It infuriates you. It make you mad. Yes, you are, nigga. Here go, look at what I got. Who is Teresa? Motherfucker. Who is Teresa? See, if he would have told the truth, you still would have been mad. But you might not have did what you did. However, I got this confusing I'm confused. I'm in the middle. Should I talk to these guys? Should I tell them how I feel? Should I tell them how I actually feel about this and possibly get hit? Possibly think that they see some soft shit over here and think that they could just swing on me because I give them my opinion. I said, well, that's why I started the show. I could give you my opinion and be safe in the studio from getting hit. Let me give you my opinion about this shit. First of all, a lot of y'all gonna be mad, but you might want to just hear me out a little bit. I say that a lot because I mean it. Let me just say this to you. I think we as a people need to stay away from how much other people make. One of the struggles that I have with unions and how they think and how they get their people to think is they're more concerned about the power of the dollar that someone else is making versus what they need to do to be that person that's making that money. I mean, some people walk into a position that's paying $15 an hour, and it's what they call a I don't know, what do they call it? What do they call it in HR? They have a term for it, an entry level position, right? Let me just say this to you: you're not supposed to make cap dollar in an entry level position. An entry level position is supposed to get you in the company, and you're supposed to better yourself once you get in. That's me. That's just how I feel. You can't stay in an entry level position and make a career out of it and think that you have the leverage of saying the CEO makes $29 million and I make $15 an hour. That is a very poor argument. See, there is a mindset that pays attention to your argument, but they in the same position that you're in. You got to get yourself around people. If you're making $15 an hour, you need to kind of gravitate to the to the $30 an hour people. Find out what they doing. Find out what they doing to get to the 30. And see, I'm the wrong guy to go over there and have a conversation with these union people, so I know better. I had to knock that one off my shoulder. Like, man, you talking shit. And then I start thinking, as he was falling off my shoulder, he was like, but wait a minute. Tell them the importance. Tell them, do they really know why the company don't want to give them the money? And I say to myself, well, wait a minute. Do these people understand some of the policies that are putting their companies in the position that they're in right now? Some people are going to say, well, Wyatt, you about to start making some shit up. No, because every day the radio wants to talk about Donald Trump and Republicans and all that old shit. So I got to be honest about what is actually happening in the current administration. Do y'all know that the administration is making EV cars a priority to these manufacturers now? They're trying to mandate that they don't make gas cars anymore. So if that's the case, you have to have an economy that's ready for EV cars. In other words, if you're going to make the manufacturers only produce those type of cars by a certain date, your economy has to be strong enough where the everyday working class person can actually afford the product that you're forcing a company to push out. Here's something that you all may know or may not know. Every one of those EV cars that they sell to you, they lose money on them. Now, I'm not saying that everyone loses the same amount of money, because of course it costs more to build a Porsche than it does a Fiat, okay? What I'm suggesting to you is the technology, the range of building that car is more expensive. But here's the trick. It doesn't take as many people to do it anymore. So now what you're trying to do is landlock these manufacturers into signing a contract, keeping more people on than necessary. They've been through that. And then you want to pay them more money. That's like me owning an ice cream shop. And the government tell me, now I know my market. I know my chocolate ice cream is the shit. I know I got chocolate ice cream, peanut butter ice cream. I got the vanilla. I got all these different ice creams. But the government come in, the city, come in and tell me, I gotta sell butter pecan. You gotta eliminate all these other flavors by a certain date. And at the end of the year, you gotta only sell butter pecan. But butter pecan costs me a fortune to get. So that means I gotta sell it for damn near twice, maybe 3 times what all my other flavors cost. City is gonna make me sell butter pecan out of my little ice cream shop, whether the people want it or not. So are my people who come to the shop, now keep in mind, I gotta order butter pecan ice cream, and I gotta get it from all these different, this one particular supplier. And that supplier charges me 3 times what the regular ice creams cost. My cost of business, my cost of goods just went up. Keep in mind, my market is what it is. Now, let me explain something to you. I can't go pick the ice cream up. I got to have it delivered. So now I'm paying a delivery fee. The delivery fee is more expensive now because the cost of getting around gas and all that is going up. So everything is costing me a lot of money to function. So explain to me, how am I supposed to stay at a steady pace of supplying with what I want them to buy, what the government, what the city makes them buy? And I'm supposed to keep a staff. I'm supposed to do everything I'm supposed to do. I ain't supposed to go up on my prices. How do I stay in business? I'm not getting this thing. Every EV car that these manufacturers sell, they lose money on it. Every one of them. A lot of people are blinded by profit. You got to understand, as a business owner, sometimes you make profit to make up for so much loss. Don't be disturbed. Don't get it twisted. Don't act like everything. I hear President Biden saying shit all the time about record high profits. Record high profits. He did that with the gas shit, and y'all fell for that. The gas companies are making record high profits. Well, let me explain to you how that can happen. He's not talking about, because they're very selective in how they present what points they want to make. When you tell us that the gas companies are making higher profits than ever before, you never tell us they made $13 trillion versus $600 million they made. You're not telling us like that. What you're telling us is based on the percentage of profit now. The percentage of our profits are higher than ever before. What if it's because they can't activate they can't work their business at full capacity, so it costs them less money to make their profit, but they have a lower cost of doing business. So in other words, they make less profit, but a higher profit margin on less business. Does that mean they making record high profits? No, they might be making a higher profit percentage than ever before, but it don't mean they making more money. Now, I'm not capping for these guys. I'm just telling you how people talk to people who know that they not really abreast to things like this. Now, y'all could call me Mr. Whatever. You can say whatever you want to say. But if you got a car manufacturer that's losing $60,000 every time they sell a car, how are they supposed to stay in business? How are they supposed to pay more salaries, pensions, and all that stuff? How is that supposed to happen? Now, here's my question to the UAWs. All due respect to everybody that's working. Once again, pay attention to how you vote, UAW. And I don't mean for your union stewards. I don't mean for your union presidents. I don't mean for your union officers. Pay attention to the policymakers of your industry. Because it's your own policymakers, the people that you think you supporting, that's making it a hindrance for your industry to do business. Based on the policies of this industry, of this administration, they don't even need 30% of the workers in that industry of manufacturing cars. They're doing away with the workers. So explain to me why you're not having a conversation of the policies that's forcing these car companies not to want to pay you. I think some of them understand now because they don't really want the support. See, President Biden is going out there today because he know he has to. He gonna go out there. Here's what he's gonna say. I want to say this to everybody before he do it, or he's already done it. I ain't seen it yet. Maybe he's done it and you're gonna think I'm cheating and I seen it. But I can tell you what he's gonna do off his script. He's gonna tell every one of them UAW workers, he's gonna give them everything they need to hear. He ain't gonna tell them what he's doing to cause the problem. What he's gonna tell them is everybody's salary who make more than them. That's all they need to hear. See, that's the bait on the hook. Talk money. Talk about what somebody else is making, and you'll grab their attention. He's not gonna talk about his policies creating this problem. He's not gonna talk about that. He's gonna tell them the CEO make $29 million a year. The CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company makes $29 million a year, and here you are making an unlivable wage. That's what he's gonna say. I know how his writers write. This man ain't gonna say nothing in the direction of the truth. It's true. It's true that the CEO of GM, she makes $29 million. She's also the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. It would look awfully stupid if she made $150,000 in control of billions of dollars worth of inventory, electrical, and cyber work. And it would look ridiculous. It would feel ridiculous. Who would take that job? Nobody. But the bait is going to be something very simple. And he's going to start it out by saying, the CEO make XYZ amount of money. And that's going to grab the attention of everybody that's making $15, $20, $25, $30 an hour. It's going to draw the attention of everybody. Wait, I know AP is a union guy, so I want to read this comment. I'm sure it's going to be good with respects. He says, what about when the company is struggling? They come to employees wanting help because we all big family, one big family. Then when the milk and honey is following again, back to being the redhead stepchild. Well, I guess it all depends on where you work, right? I would think that, I don't think that every place that has a union has problems. I don't think that, I think that there's companies out here. See, first of all, let me just say this. I think there's a lot of employees that work places that don't have unions. And I think those people that work there that don't have unions, I think they're fine. I think they love where they work. I think they're treated well. I look at that and say, well, if I'm going to work at a place and I got to be in a union to be treated fair, I'm probably working in the wrong place. That's my mentality. My mentality is I'm not going to force you to be nice to me. I'm not going to force you to be fair to me. I'll go somewhere else where I'm appreciated. I'll go somewhere else where when they treat me fair, I give them all of me. It's like, why would you want a union between you and your husband, you and your wife? Why you need a mediator to determine who gonna get what and how y'all do things? Do you need that? No, you treat each other fairly. So the way y'all treat each other, it's a marriage, right? Why do I need somebody to make sure that how I'm fair? I don't want to work for somebody that ain't gonna treat me fair. That's just my mentality. Some people feel like, and I know because I got some people that work at the post office. They argue and fight about everything. And I'm saying to myself, now I've been said it 20 years ago. I'm like, damn, you're gonna have a job. You do know if you step into a job, you've been there a year or two, and now you fighting to be treated fairly, and you gotta fight, you know, you're gonna be fighting like this your whole career. Who the fuck wants to go somewhere and work and fight for 20 years while they on the job for one thing or the other? If they don't like you at the begin, they ain't gonna like you throughout the process till you get finished. That's just my opinion. I don't want to work for somewhere that don't want to treat me fairly. That's just me. That don't mean I'm right or wrong. It just means my personal opinion is if I gotta force you to treat me a certain way, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I could go take my talent somewhere else. Damn GM, I go to Ford. Ford don't want to do right. I go to Chrysler. Chrysler don't want to do right. I go somewhere else. I go work for Tesla. Here's the hypocrisy of it all. You got that lady AOC for New York talking about the unions and everybody need a fair wage and blah 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 blah. Here she is making $180,000. She don't know nothing about how y'all living in them union halls and shit. She don't know nothing about that. She just talking shit. And now let me show you her hypocrisy. This lady talking all that union work, union shit. She drive a Tesla. She's trying to prove that she's economic and Green New Deal, and she's trying to prove all this old shit. She talking all that union shit, and Tesla don't even have unions, and it's a competitor of the American workers that, the American, fully American built car. It's a competitor of y'all. So explain to me why she's driving a Tesla that's not a union built car. It's competitive. If Tesla took all the business, imagine what it would do to the union workers. So if you pro-union, why are you driving a car that's not built by union workers? But those are your politicians. Those are your politicians. I got to show y'all this video before I get out of here. I'm running low on time. I got to share this one. Let me ask you this. I said something in the Wyatt Live group, in the messenger group. Some of y'all did not. Y'all just pretended I didn't even say it. Nobody say shit. And I said, wait a minute. Did y'all hear that Joe Biden called LL Cool J a boy? Nobody seen that shit, huh? Well, in the Wyatt Messenger group this morning, I seen it. I didn't send it, but I seen it. And I said, hold on. I said, can you imagine if Donald Trump or one of these guys that y'all call racist or whatever, a Republican, a white Republican, can you imagine if Donald Trump was up on stage and he was saying something about LL Cool J, and he said, that boy. Daryl Carpenter said, what? You don't believe me, do you, D? All right. Let me bring a receipt in. Give me 2 ticks. Let me pull up the video. I'm going to give you my opinion on it. Y'all going to be shocked when I tell you this. You're going to be absolutely shocked when I tell you my opinion about this clip. But I got to bring it from the beginning. All right. It's going to look like I'm showing you the wrong one, but I'm just giving you a little I'm reminiscing. I'm doing my Mary J. Blige right now. Reminiscing about the things. I want you to remember what he said first before he say what he say. So I just do a little reminding of some things. Check it out.
Listen, you got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see.
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years. I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run. Come on.
A few years later.
And two of the great artists of our time representing the groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LL Cool J.
Did he just say LLJ Cool J? Who writing your shit, Mr. President? Stop acting like you trying to know what's going on and be cool. You don't know. This man called LL. He said LJ Cool OJ, J Cool, LL, J Cole, Price is Right. Bob Barker looking ass.
LJ Cool J. The groundbreaking legacy of hip-hop in America, LLJ Cool J. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's been. And MC Light, the man's got biceps bigger than. By the way, that man's got biceps bigger than my thighs. I think he's been. And MC Light, both of you, thank you. Because they both have the light off. You're all here to listen to the edition. Mike Bivens, 40 years producing music, lifts our souls.
LLJ Cool J. We'll get back to that in a second. A lot of people are upset that Joe Biden referred to LL Cool J as a boy. As you can hear, he corrected himself on the spot. You know why Joe Biden corrected himself? Because he's 137 years old. He fully understands the word boy in the racial context around a white man referring to a black man as boy. See, boy is absolutely a white racist word when used in a certain context. And I know that because I'm from Drop on the Clue. And because I was raised watching Good Times. Okay, and a young scholar by the name of Michael Levitt that down to us why boy is a white racist word, if I'm not mistaken. It was season 1, episode 9. You remember this, right?
Boy is a white racist word.
That's all you needed to hear. Okay, once you knew that, you understood that boy was a white racist word. When the word boy is referred, when somebody uses the word boy to refer to an adult black man and the speaker is white, that takes on a whole different.
Yeah. So he called, what did he say? I wrote it down. I tried to write it down because I couldn't even understand his pattern of what he was saying. I want to know where the chaos agents at. Why y'all keep cleaning up what this man feeling? Why y'all keep letting him do whatever he want to do? I'm not understanding why, y'all get told that one person is a racist all the time. Oh, Donald Trump a racist. Fuck Donald Trump. He a racist. But you got a man in front of you that proves where his mind is about you every time he get off script. Every time he go off script or try to make some shit up, he show you who he is and tell you who he is, his affiliation with the Klan and all that old shit. And for some odd reason, chaos agents can't see through the smoke screen. What do you think? Why do you think somebody that's willing to play the role that he's playing is for you? I don't understand. Wait, even the puppet stringers, the people that's pulling the strings and making him and read the monitor, what makes you think the puppet master up top has your best interest at heart? Explain to me that. Last little bitty clip, it's only 30 seconds long, then I'm going to the phones. Maybe that person can help me understand. Check this clip out. I want you to, somebody explain to me. This man don't know who LL Cool J is, first of all. He just sat up there and said some shit about LL Cool J, the greatest. He didn't even know his name. He don't know what he do. He don't know nothing. He's reading a script. I'd feel real bad if every time somebody was trying to tell me they had my best interest at heart, they had to wait to turn the next page to keep on talking to me. Check this out.
A special thanks to tonight's host, LL Cool J. I tell you what, man, he looks like he can still play. And I'm not talking about instruments. I'm talking about football or something. The man is, anyway, I tell you what.
He looked like he could still play. I'm talking about football. I mean, he's a big one. He's a big Negro. I tell you what, that boy can play some ball. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you know what it draws? You know what I'm thinking when I hear shit like that? Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Let's go to the phone lines. Let me see. Let me see if I got a caller. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What up, Wyatt? This Drop Squad 52, also known as the Black, not Democrat. Boy, Wyatt, I just came back from walking while retired. I said, let me see if Wyatt's still talking. And lo and behold, you talking about all the presidents, little, how can you say it? Why they ain't slip-ups?
No.
Wait, first of all, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Again, I'm loving the ensemble. Man, why I could tell back in the day you used to read GQ magazine, didn't you?
I did. I was a subscriber.
I know it. I could tell, bro. But anyway, Wyatt, shout out to Charlemagne the God for at least making President Biden the donkey of the day.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of didn't put that clip in context, even though it did show.
It showed.
It did show. But a lot of people they listening and they don't see the actual video. But again, Wyatt, what he did at that award show while reading from a teleprompter, like you said, a script.
Yeah.
He didn't know who the man was. He thought he was an athlete.
Yeah.
Because he saw him and probably thought he was a linebacker or a tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs because he was just with the Chiefs, But again, Wyatt,
it just showed
I'll tell you.
Hold on, Drop. It showed the bullshit of how he think he can still lie quick on his feet when he say some shit.
But it's nothing new. He's been doing it. He's just doing it now as president.
I understand.
Okay, because if you remember back when him and his president Obama was running for re-election in 2012, he went to a black church and he spoke about the Republican candidate Mitt Romney, who was a Wall Street guy, and Biden out of his mouth he said, "If you let them win, they're gonna put y'all back in chains." And the damn audience clapped. First it was like, ooh, and then it was clapping. But see, what Charlemagne the God did, what the preachers at that church who sat in that pulpit and listened to that bullshit, see, they're called race explainers, black spokespeople, and the ultimate title is Negro whisperers, or the updated title, African American whisperers. Because again, Wyatt, because there's so many black people that are being led during the election year by the Democrat Party, 88%. All they think they need to do is get one black face or 4 or 5 black faces on the same talking point, and that's gonna work. That's gonna convince the masses, because again, it's people like the guy Livingston, whatever, Manuel Livingston, and who's the other guy?
You talking about the show, the actual?
Yes, yes, the one that's on before you come on the air.
That's the Lincoln Ware.
Yeah,
show.
Lincoln Ware. Again, a black spokesperson for the greatest. Again, Wyatt, like I always say, brother, you keep doing what you're doing. Because Wyatt, I'm starting to see it on Twitter, bro. I'm starting to hear them talk about this shit in the spaces. I'm telling you, Wyatt, they are freaking shaking in their boots about our president being able to make it all the way to the November election, where they're going to do what they can to assure his victory against Trump. And then once he's inaugurated, he'll step down and hand it over to Kamala Harris. That's the plan, Wyatt. But he may not make it. Because this kind of shit, it ain't going to affect black people running to vote GOP. You know that, and I know that.
No, it's not going to make them do that.
But what it does, Wyatt, is how the Democrat inflicts their own voter suppression on their own black people when they come with this bullshit to black people. And these young black people on these social media sites, Wyatt, they ain't having it.
Yeah, it's a different day.
They ain't having it.
I expect more from older black people, but younger.
Oh,
black,
they locked in. They locked in. They ain't going
nowhere.
nowhere.
But younger black people are definitely showing. They're showing that they may not be engaged with politics like the older crowds are, but here what they do share is their dissatisfaction with bullshit, like how people bullshit.
Yes, there's no enthusiasm, Wyatt. The last two polls that came out, Washington Post, ABC, and then I think Fox News had one the other day, the enthusiasm gap is 10 points toward the Republicans.
Well, let me just say this to you. I think one of the tricks, and I don't want to call it a trick, I just think that, in success.
Just call it political strategy.
Well, let me, because I want to make a point about the last election. I'm not big on it was a cheat, it was this and this and that, because I don't believe that everything that happens has to happen the way it don't have to fall the way it falls because other people cheated. It don't always have to fall that way. It's like anything else. Sometimes success is based on timing. Okay, some things happen and some people get things that they don't deserve based on the timing, how the earth is moving and the timing of certain things. And I'm going to tell you right now, if COVID would have never struck and some other things would have never been out there, the George Floyd and the COVID, if that type of stuff would have never really struck, I think Joe Biden would have had to come out and actually debate. He would have had to actually campaign. He didn't really campaign. He didn't really give a full campaign. He didn't go out there and earn our vote. I think his vote was given because of some of the people that he reached out to, the Cardi B's and some of the things that came out with the George Floyd thing and then the COVID, the different ways of voting, all that timing came out at one time, and it made what we have today to be great timing for Joe Biden. I'm just being honest with you. I think.
Wyatt, you are 100% on point.
And I also believe that if the same thing would have happened, if none of this would have happened, there may have been a different outcome in the election. That's just my opinion.
Okay, yeah, Wyatt. But again, like I said, everything you said is 100% on point. But from a political strategy standpoint, the whole absentee mail-in ballot strategy was only used by Republicans because the Republicans had the military and they had a lot of expatriates overseas and things like that. So they were the party that used the mail-in ballots, which could be harvested and held in certain areas because you already knew if your voter registration equals your ballot request, you're almost guaranteed 100% participation. That's what happened in 2020 because of COVID. Because in the past, and this is the end of it, because in the past, Wyatt, the Democrats did not use that ballot harvesting strategy because they couldn't trust or rely on their constituents to get the ballot and then mail it back in properly filled out. But with the ballot harvesting, they know exactly who ordered the ballot because they registered them. They know when they got their ballot, and that's how they manipulated the mail-in ballots during the 2020 election because it was a close election.
I know it was very close. And see, here's one of the things that I would never say this just out of the blue. You would have to be on here for me to even be thinking like this. But like someone like Stacey Abrams, who was in Georgia, and she utilized voter suppression and victimization and all that shit and tried to make people feel a certain way to get them to come out and vote. It was never about what policies she was more favorable to. It was never how they were going to make you a better person. It was always they trying to do this to us so they can do this to us and blah, blah, blah. It's never I'm about to cheat you or show you how to enrich in yourself. I'm going to take you out of this position. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to show y'all how money move. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's never that type of sale. And then when the voter suppression shit failed, Nobody held her accountable for getting slaughtered in that election when there was clearly no voter suppression. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's
Wyatt, she was on the same ballot with Raphael Warnock versus Herschel Walker. She was on the same ballot.
I
but
understand.
her ass got smoked. She lost by 15 points. She got smoked.
But wait a minute.
And Warnock and Walker went into a runoff.
Right.
Explain that shit.
But you
Wyatt.
can't. That's my whole point. Logically, it makes no sense. Her whole argument was voter suppression. She got smashed, but then Herschel Walker, I'm repeating what you said, but Herschel Walker and the other guy, Warnock, get into a runoff. I mean, bro, it's clearly not a voter suppression situation, but what you did is you led the way of what black folks always get into, and that is vote for me because I'm going to put this emotional shit out there in front of you so I can cater to your emotions versus your policies. And if you look at a lot of the policies, I try to put this in front of my people every day, Drop. I'm looking at the policies of this president who calls himself union friendly, who calls himself for the people, and that he asked for the black vote because he was going to better the black community. And everything he's doing right now is hurting the black community. The black community can't say that anything is happening for them as a whole. You always going to have one or two that's going to benefit from anything. A broken clock is right twice a day. So you always going to get somebody that's going to benefit from some bullshit. Okay? But okay, some dumb mug didn't run the lottery. Didn't finish the 7th grade, but he won $3 million. So you always going to have somebody that's going to benefit from luck. Okay? But that being said, as a whole, what policies and what is he doing that is benefiting? Damn, bro, what is that?
I'm hydrating.
Oh, okay. It sounded like that you okay.
You can't the sound of a drink being.
Yeah. It just was really loud.
Bro, I just got this high quality headphone on. I'm sorry.
Okay, no. I'm just saying it was very loud, but that ain't gonna stop nothing. I'm just saying they just never done anything that is going to be highly visible to the black community. And I've heard Kamala Harris say it. It's so funny, the hypocrisy that comes out of her. She got what she got because of who she is, what she represents, and what she looks like. But then she gets in office and makes a quote of, I'm not going to do something specifically for black people.
No.
You obviously seen that as well. But what I'm saying to you is, if you're going to be unapologetically black to get where you're going, don't be unapologetically black. Be unapologetically black when you get there. Okay, if you okay with black folks dropping everything they doing to put you in office, then damn it, you should be there for black people and have not a problem saying I'm doing something specifically for the people who got me here. You shouldn't have a problem with that.
Well, see why again, bro. Again, it's always about turnout. Okay, and the Biden administration and their office of the coronavirus response have just opened up or refreshed the website to where you can go on and order your COVID test. And they're encouraging Americans to go to the government website, free of charge, delivered by the Postal Service, your COVID test before you go visit grandma for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you know what they
now,
work
Wyatt,
into. You know what they work
You know
into.
what they're going to do.
Absolutely. Come on, bro. It's right.
Wyatt, they did the same thing when they first started testing for COVID, and guess which communities?
The black community.
The black communities.
Come on,
they took that data and said, well, whoa, man, look at all these people testing positive. We're going to have to put in some mandates. We're going to have to put in some restriction. Wyatt, I'm just telling you, keep doing your thing, brother. Keep informing the people. I'm talking about the people like LaDonna Howard, Regina Griffin, Davis Denise, David Speed, Ron Ortega, Troy Ambers. You know the regulars, Wyatt. Keep informing the people, because when you reach one, you teach one.
Wait a minute. Can I ask you a question?
And we need a whole lot of teachers out here.
I appreciate it. Let me ask you a question. you live in California, and even you know who Iris Rowley is, don't you?
Yes, because of the Nathan Ivey show.
Right. Now,
and that was the only one time, Wyatt, that I actually got into it with her per se over the radio, was because I told her what they were doing to the black folks with these damn tests.
Oh, okay. So that was ironic that, you know, the irony in that. I didn't bring her up because I didn't know y'all got into it about these test things. But the crazy thing is, you probably don't know this, but she wasn't a guest on today's show, but she spoke to us for about 30 minutes. We were talking about something that's going on in the Cincinnati area. And what I heard her say today, I think you would have appreciated.
Oh, I like Iris Roller. I call her the number one freedom fighter in the greater Cincinnati area.
I've heard you do nothing but compliment her, to be honest with you. But now let me say what I heard her say today, and I don't want to put words in her mouth. Everybody that's on here now probably heard the conversation that I had, but I don't know if they got out of it what I got out of it. And I want to make sure I walk away from this table and out of the studio today understanding what I thought I heard. And what I heard her say, and here's the irony. You remember these conversations back on the day. You mentioned another show, and you used to hear this on that show, talk about Black Cincinnati gonna be different because they got everybody that they wanted. Okay, on the city council, it's all black, but one person. It's a white Republican lady. Everybody else is black, and you heard the advertisements of all these people campaigning on different shows and all that old stuff. Now we got a $1.6 billion railroad that they're putting to the people to vote on, but they're not giving the people any information of the pros and the cons of the sale or not to sell or not to sell. And I'm calling out the leadership, saying, how could you possibly ask for the people of Cincinnati to vote on something and not give them information about, if we sell, this is what's going to happen. If we don't sell, this is what we have, the pros and the cons. And I call out the leadership, and somebody called me a clown, not a clown, told me to grow up because I said, I find it weird that no one's asking for the opinion, or the city council hasn't come out. Now, these are the same people that y'all bragged about and said Cincinnati is about to be a different city based on the fact that y'all just voted all these black folks. Now, let me pull
Wyatt,
wait a minute, hold on.
Yesterday, I listened to Lincoln Ware. I heard that show yesterday.
Well, a former mayor came on. He's the only former mayor in Cincinnati. His name is Dwight Tillery. He's a only former mayor he's the only one that's voting who says no. All the rest of them, including the current mayor, says yes. And then he come on and he tell y'all these politicians are lying to you. You can't believe politicians. So now I get Iris Rowley on. I respect her. I really do. And she didn't say anything that I felt was wrong today. But correct me if I'm wrong, family. What I heard from her was basically saying that because you get these politicians, they not always out for your best interest. Now, when I said that, because people were saying it's about to be a different Cincinnati, it's about to be a different, because everybody was black, see? And then I called to the attention that you can't just vote for somebody because they black. What if their policies don't meet what you asking for? I am the coon. I am the outcast when I bring all this information year one of Wyatt Live. October, November of that year that they got in office and everybody voted for them, I said what I said, and I stick to it now. Y'all got who y'all want. Now, when it's time for them to make a business decision, I want to know if y'all going to give these people the same attention and the same energy. Because when they have to make a business decision, I want to know if that business decision is going to benefit the black community, because black folks wanted all these black people in there. And did you know how much blowback I got for that? Now,
of course.
Now 2 years later, I get a Miss Iris Rowley who's all up in them circles, and she call them all out. She ain't holding no punches back. What did she say on the show today? Everybody that you vote for, you shouldn't vote for. She basically.
But you know what that means?
What that mean?
That means politicians don't tell you the truth. They tell you what you want to hear. So when you hear what you want from these politicians, because remember, the other guy is either getting elected out or he trying to stay in. So the one that you usually listen to is going to tell you what you want to hear. So when you vote for him and they get into office, like these city council members, they do this kind of backdoor behind your back shit. We know what's best for you. And they say, I don't know why you out here complaining. You voted for me. I'm your representative. Isn't that why I'm here?
Well, yeah, and she made a very good point that we've been talking. She made another good
again,
point. She
people,
hold on.
like you said, Wyatt, you're the teacher. You got to educate people over and over and over. This conditioning of the Black mind when it comes to politics locally has been ingrained for the last 50 to 60 years, Wyatt.
I know.
You're the first generation that's hitting it hard.
Well,
because you have a child now that's benefiting from your way, which was opposite of the Democrat plantation way of living for the Black person in this country.
Right. So
you went against that shit. So again, shout out to Iris Rowley, the #1 freedom fighter in the city. She be in them streets. She got some kind of big contract a couple years ago. She finally getting that money that she well deserves. But when you reach a certain age, you got to come clean with the people.
Absolutely.
She has a very articulate way of speaking to Black people. Okay? So again, she's out there. She ain't gonna be right all the time. She ain't gonna get it right all the time. But when she does, she usually comes clean. So she coming clean with this shit. She's not an elected official. That's the only thing that's saving Iris Rowley out here in these streets with her credibility, because she's not. So shout out to you, Mr. Wyatt, and your show Wyatt Live, and all the people who support you and listen to you and pass on some of the shit that they're hearing. It's a good thing, brother. Keep doing it, because you got a long way to go. I'm telling you, you just getting started. Like Dion said, I'm just getting started. And it looked like you're getting comfortable. Drop Squad 52, drop his science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out, Wyatt.
Peace out to you. I am getting comfortable. 3.5 years I've been sitting in this seat. I haven't fell off my circle. I've been saying what I've been saying the entire time. And I'm going to stick to it. It means a lot when people like Iris Rowley and them, who out in the streets, who have Black people's interest at heart, when they come on and give you the respect, because they know deep down inside, you know, she's not going to hide it. If she had a problem with me, she'd say it. But she know deep down inside where I am with this. She know that I believe that, look, what she said today was what I've been saying. We got to learn how the money move before you start making all this being mad at shit. If you don't know how the money moving, you can't be mad. You can't be mad at something you don't know. You can't always blame it on the easy, obvious excuse or thing. You can't keep blaming it on that. Can't keep blaming it on that. I want to show you this clip real fast. It's important, and we're going to get up out of here. All right? This is what I'm talking about when I say you got to know how the money move. Let me see if I can pull this thing up real fast. Let me see if I have it right here on the go. Let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. This was shared to me, and I want to share it to my people. All right? Whenever you hear me say, you got to know how the money move, it's not just how politicians move money back and forth around. It's not always that. Sometimes we got to understand how the dollar fluctuates. Sometimes we got to understand how we truly are supportive of one another, or we're our own downfall. It's not always the other man. Sometimes it's us. We just don't get it. And I'm going to always say this. I think I'm going to make a t-shirt. And that is, we got to learn how to make them. You got to learn how, you got to know how money move. Once you know how money moves, then you have a better understanding of how things go. Check this video out. It's very short.
Sometimes I believe that Black people are searching for a key to an unlocked door. that the door to opportunity is wide open and will cost you little to get in. The resources necessary to succeed in this country as Africans in America are here. We have everything we need to succeed except each other. We have money. Oh, we're not poor. We're just broke. Our money goes in one direction, away from us. We've taken the art of consumption to a whole new level. We don't sell anything that we purchase, and we don't make anything that we buy. We just consume. A $1.1 trillion annual economy. If we were a nation, we would be the 16th richest nation in the entire world. I've traveled every place that black people have been dispersed, brothers and sisters. I've been to South Africa, East Africa, Central Africa, West Africa, all over North Africa, and all over South America and the Caribbean. And there are no black people in the entire world doing better than we are.
Kind of funny, huh? Kind of funny. The reason why we don't get it is because we don't understand how the money moving. We're consumers. We're customers. We're not sellers. And until we position ourselves into being more of a seller versus a consumer, that's why I say to you, stop building so many entertainment platforms and so many entertainment things. It distracts your mind from what you really need to know. Sometimes not having so much can make you really fight for the things that you truly need. I don't want to have all these fucking comedy shows come in town. I don't want all these dance shows and all this old shit to entertain us to come in town. We got enough. We got sports. You got one venue down there that can bring all the entertainment in that you want. There's a serious problem when all you can do is bring in entertainment to people. There's a serious problem when you feel like the only way you're achieving things in this world is because you need to be entertained. That's the only way that we can show progression, is to be entertained. I'm going to say this before I get out of here. I'm going to let that shit slide for the person who said what they said when I made that comment. I reached out to my man, and he, I asked him, should I go? Should I go ahead and do it? Should I tap it? Should I tap into that shit? Should I let that motherfucker? Y'all don't understand who I really am. I'm not petty, but when I strike back, I shoot arrows, and attached to the arrows are bombs. I'm like a pit bull. I won't let go. I'm that guy. I'm a single kid. I didn't grow up in a house where my brothers and my sisters, we fought. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we fought. And then on Thursday, Friday, we about to go out together and hang out. I don't have that mentality. Once you're an enemy and I don't like you, we going to fight every time we see each other. So I'm going to tell you, this individual know who they are. Tread light. Be careful insulting me. Because once I start coming at you, nobody's going to be able to soften this shit up. If you oppose what I'm saying, if you have a difference of opinion about me, fine. Argue your point. Make your point. That's all you got to do. But you do not have to come at me and say to something that I say and then tell me to grow up. I ain't never been a clown for nobody. I'm going to take this one last call, then I'm going to get up out of here today. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Uh-oh, hold on. Good afternoon, caller. You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, caller. My fault. CK?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
How
my
you doing,
goodness.
Mr. Wyatt?
Long time no talk to. I'm glad I answered the phone.
Man, I had to catch you before you got up out of there, man.
What's good with you, brother?
Everything been good, man. Yay. I just wanted to holler at you, man. You see how prime time been looking out there, ain't you?
Yeah, you've been doing a good job.
Right. Hey, he got him looking crazy. They talking about we don't do it for clicks. I can't tell. They made a whole movie about beating Deion Saturday.
Yeah. Well, usually when people say they not doing it for something, that's the reason why they doing it.
Exactly. That's America. That's America in a nutshell.
Yeah. when the Democrats telling you to look at the Republicans and how dirty they are, it's usually because they doing the shit that they want you to focus on. I mean, that's just how it go, bro. I mean, that's just how it go. Usually when you're trying to shoot shade and talk dirty about somebody else, it's usually because those people are the ones that's doing it.
Yeah, you the one. When I make a YouTube platform about snitching, because I'm the number one snitch.
Right.
You notice that? It's like, hold on, 1090J, you the one snitch. Now when they do your paperwork, now you got a whole boatload of guys in prison behind your testimony.
That's usually what happens. That's usually
right.
What happens. They call
Man.
One man a racist. That's because they man is the racist.
Thank you. Come on now, that's real talk. But before you let me go, you got to give me your pick this weekend. Who you like?
Between who?
Canelo and Charlo, the African American against the Mexican.
I'm gonna give you the most honest answer in the world, bro. Okay, bro. I want Charlo to win. I know Charlo. Okay, I'm cool with Charlo. I want him to win. I just don't think his skill craft is there. I think Canelo has better competition under his belt. I think he's the better fighter. But I really want to see Charlo win the fight. I mean, I texted him the other day and I said, I don't text during camp, especially the last week. And I said, I wish you all the best. And after you win the fight, I want you to come on my show. He texted me back.
Hell yeah.
No, he texted me back.
Come on there.
He texted me back and he said, bet. You see what I'm saying? So, but I don't want to say anything that I just don't know if he's going to be able to pull it out. Okay, and that's only because, and I think it's going to go the distance. I think it's going to be a real good fight, close fight in the whole nine, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to pull it out in a long, stretched out fight.
Do you think the weight jump is going to be the difference? What difference in weight?
Nah,
jumping up 2 weight classes?
Nah, not really. I think he's going to be fine. I think, these guys want to fight bigger. They really do.
Okay.
It's a deterrent. See, what a lot of people don't understand is when you fight at a lower weight, you're really at a disadvantage fighting at that low weight for so long. You can't stay down in them low weights real long. And just because you are able to make the weight don't mean you at your full potential. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these guys like to fight bigger. And it don't make sense to a lot of people, but they're already that big. The only adjustment they need to make is being hit by somebody that's used to being at that weight class. Okay, that's the only adjustment. That's the only adjustment.
But remember, acclimate to the weight. You don't go up and fight the hardest guy your first fight. You know what I mean? That you might want to take a couple touches and then go for the number one guy. Yeah. I think if he lose is because he's fighting the number one guy jumping up 2 weight classes.
Yeah, and somebody jacked me off often. He said that's what happened to Adrian Broner. That's exactly what happened to Adrian Broner. When he fought Madonna, he jumped up 2 weight classes to do that. He went from
but he got acclimated. Remember, he won the championship from Malignaggi.
No, I know, but that wasn't
he didn't just jump right up and fight. I think but I think the reason why he lost because he went from the softest puncher of all time to one of the hardest punchers at the welterweight division.
I was just about to say Marginale. He was not a tough fight for Adrian Broner. That was cake for him. I mean, to be honest with you, Adrian could just let his hands go on him because Malignaggi can't really hit. He can't punch. So aggressive guy like Adrian Broner can walk him down and just tag his ass. Not worried about him getting hurt. That's what happens.
Now, don't forget, Mr. Wyatt, that was a close split decision loss.
On paper, it was, but man, it was
a split decision loss for Malignaggi. I mean,
yeah, but on paper it was. But to be honest with you, it was a clear win by Adrian Broner in that fight.
Yeah, you're right. And Al Heyman warned Broner just like he warned Spence not to fight Maidana. He wanted to do what he wanted to do.
Yeah. But
Al Heyman wasn't for that fight at all.
Yeah, but Adrian's never been. He's always had tough fights. I mean, once he got on that big stage. Look, man, Adrian Broner, y'all can say whatever they want to say about the man, but let me say something about nephew. He's never backed down in a fight. He always wanted the big fights. And it was more, I know he liked the money and all that, but Adrian had a lot to prove because Adrian Broner was never supposed to be who he is. Do you understand? He was never supposed to be a star. He was supposed to be in prison. He was supposed to be a statistic. He was never supposed to be what he is. And believe it or not, no matter what he's done away from the ring or whatever, the one thing that he did do is he challenged himself early, and that's what made him a star. It really did.
Yep.
He challenged himself. He didn't take easy fights, and he'll fight whoever they put in front of him, from Mikey Garcia to Madonna to Pac-Man, all of them. He fought them
38-0. 38-0, Mikey Garcia.
Yeah.
And one thing you got to remember, because Adrian Broner and Ocho Cinco, they made themselves bigger than the game because with their personality, taking a page from the Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Like, look at Ocho Cinco. He's one of the more famous wide receivers retired right now. He's probably number one
of
for
them.
his media.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you see he got his jacket or his retirement thing in the stadium this weekend. That was a great thing to see. And he had T.O. in there with him. That's his best friend.
Yep.
They real cool. So I was happy to see that. I love to see when brothers achieve and end up in places that they never thought they would be because of the work they put in. You know?
Like Colorado University.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. All right, CK, I got to run, man. I'm up against the clock.
Thank you for taking my call, brother.
No problem, brother. I always love you hearing
Yes,
from you,
sir.
brother.
All right.
Take it easy. All right, folks. That's going to do it for me. My time is up. I will see you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I am searching Emmanuel. E-Man. Come out and play. I'm just having a good time. We'll see you guys soon. See you guys tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Peace and love to everybody. I'm out.
Till the sun has gone away, and I will chase the girl in you away. I'll chase it away. I'll chase the girl.
Who's the best MC? Cole, Kendrick, and me. Instead of comparing the three, let us exist in peace. I'm really just, you've only witnessed the tease. 10,000 step ahead as I smoke and choke on the street. 2017 was my moment of truth. I was a year away from not being known as a youth. Approaching manhood, peach fuzz covered my chin. Even then I would leave rap going with the wind. I'm not a Muslim, so why would I lie or pretend? I'm not too good at following trends. I am the trend, I am the truth, I am the God, I am the Zen. There is no way around it, my just make amends. These flows are coated golden. If you the then I must be the cold and exploding what the commode is. Real soon they gonna have to mention Mr. Clay the magician with the greatest of Drizzy, Drakes, and Wheezies, Andres and Jiggers, Pac, Biggie, and Nas, Face Mob, Yeezy, and Raekwon. It's easy to say these things looking for clout, but this is non-fiction. The proof's in the pudding, it's none missing. You and your opinion, you can stick that up Uranus. I jumped to touch the sky and landed on planet Uranus. Houston, we got a problem. No need to look for solutions. I'm stacking Eisenhowers, deceased presidents in the wall in my residence as I increase stepping on ballin' forever while kissing the sweet melanin of a broad that I met in the Netherlands. Address me as Marcus Clay, the developing veteran. That's why I got no time to sleep. I gotta creep the late night to get this cake to bake right. I'm thinking real estate licenses. I've seen multiple moments of indecisiveness. I got scars on my back that resemble tiger slits. When it's all said and done, I'll be one of the greatest you know. The only one left like a nigga about the Uno. But who knows what the future holds? Man, it's moving pharmaceuticals and clocking stupid lows. Most of you do it for the internet, and I'm not into that. And that's the disconnect. Comparing me to these rappers is disrespect. Who's the best MC? Cole, Kendrick, and me?